Okay, good morning, everybody. Thanks for the invitation. Let's share a dream together. What if we take all those infrastructures we have in the ocean, ports, marinas, offshore wind, oil rigs, mat cables, and instead of having them as ocean destroyers, we turn them into ocean allies. That's the dream we had, and that's what we're now going to share with you. We need the oceans. The oceans are really the heart of the life on Earth. They occupy most of the surface. They're really the lungs of the Earth. They generate oxygen. They absorb most of the CO2. They take the climate. They generate for us. They are a fundamental source of wealth for all of us. But we will only be able to take all this wealth from the ocean as long as the ocean is in good health. That's something that was discovered long ago. But unfortunately, we are seeing that in the last few years, about 50% of marine biodiversity has been lost, and over 16,000 species are currently in danger. And the worst is yet to come. There's something called the blue acceleration that is increasing the pressure on the ocean from human activities to unprecedented stages. So we must do something about it. We need to find solutions to offset our impact, turning our activities into ocean positive. The good news is that technology today allows us to find these kind of solutions. First, with technology, we can turn our activities more ocean-friendly. So we can turn fishing, shipping, coastal tourism, and make it sustainable. And that would be a great step. But we can go even one step further. So today, the technology allows to restore and recover all the damage we have done to the ecosystems. And on top of that, we can generate new ecosystem goods and services, so create value, what it's called the natural capital, the marine natural capital, worth, by the way, something like $24 trillion. Today, we can rewild infrastructures, which is a way of rethinking circularity. We can rethink those infrastructures, we can redesign their role, and we can reuse them with a different approach. So moving from this dark, gray, poor, traditional wall in any of the marine infrastructures we have to a rich, full of life environment. Moving from something like 6 to 9 different species on that to up to 49 to 60 species. From almost no biomass generated to over 50 kilos per square meter of life generated. And that is the heart of what we're doing at ocean ecostructures, which is based on a very simple value generation model. With technology, we increase, restore marine natural capital. This raises or has some very interesting and very nice environmental effects, increase biodiversity, increase biomass, increase the capacity of carbon sequestration, increase the resilience of the environment. But on top of that, we regenerate ecosystem goods and services, which can be monetized, therefore generating a revenue stream and creating new business opportunities. A real example, ocean ecostructures. We are a blue tech startup that generates scalable solutions to restore marine life. Our first product, it's a combination of 3 different technologies. Number 1, regenerative technology, the most advanced you'll see in a minute. Number 2, robot-based ROV monitoring technology. And number 3, AI digital reporting. Let's have a close look to all of that. Number 1, the regenerative technology. Our scientists have developed what we call the life boosting unit, which is a biomimicry micro-reef specifically designed to be installed on marine structures. That means that we have been able to replicate the way a natural reef works. We generate a system to attract microfauna. The ocean is like a big soup full of microfauna looking for a place where to stop. My scientific team always would like to kill me when I say this very simple way, but I think it's very easy to understand. So all this microfauna is looking for a place where to stop, and what we do is we attract it, the same way a natural reef does. Then our units are coated with calcium carbonate, the base surface for microfauna to stop and grow, the same surface like in corals. And finally, our units are designed with a multi-layer system generating nursery effect, shelter, space where the fish and the crustaceans can grow and be bigger. All of these 3 elements, which is the synthesize the way a natural reef works, is what we have been able to replicate in a 2 per 1 square meters structure that can be attached to any marine structure and can be detached, so no operational impact. The effect on the left a traditional wall in a port after 10 years. Something like, as I said, between 6 and 10 different species living there, and something like 5 to 6 kilos of biomass per year generated. On the right, after a few months, the same wall, with full of fauna, full of life, different species. We are growing up to 48 different species identified, generating up to 50 kilos of biomass per year, storing up to 25 kilos of CO2 per year. Generating fully functional complex ecosystems, much more resilient to invasive species, much more resilient to climate change. But on top of that, what we do is we also monitor the results. It's not just that we put that on the infrastructures, but we also monitor through a multi-parametric monitoring system with our ROVs, artificial intelligence and high-definition cameras with multi-sensoring, and all the data we store, CO2 removed, oxygen generated, biomass, biodiversity, plus temperature, acidity, turbidity, level of chlorophyll, etc. All this data, which is individually measured per unit, per life boosting unit, coded, it goes up to the cloud, and then brings that to the third technology, which is this multi-front-end reporting system. On the one hand side, we have the H₂Ocean's digital platform. That's a platform our clients have access to, in which they can see the evolution in time of all those different variables. We have predictive models, how this should move. We have clusterization, comparing it to other customers to know whether there should be an alarm. Number two, we provide them with an annual report showing evidence and real impact done by our scientists on what was the result of all the units that last year. Third, we have an app which is our Ocean EcoStruxures. You can download it, it's for free, and will geolocalize you if you are nearby any of the ports we are already in, and you'll get to know what is happening. The same data as H₂Oceans, simplified, so that you can really see, for transparency purposes, what is happening, and you can even visit that. So now we are seeing schools coming to our ports and visiting the units as part of their educational programs. And finally, all sorts of communication tools. All of that ends up becoming a complete nature-inclusive solution that provides, most important for us, a full regenerative capacity, but also for our customers, the possibility of providing tangible benefits, real benefits to our customers. Impact offsetting. They can show how they are offsetting the impact. Cost saving. They can show to the different stakeholders and justify and apply both for tax advantages or avoid fines. All the information they need for ESG and compliance requirements, all the requirements they're getting from the new regulatory frame, they can fulfill that with information we are providing. And finally, the social engagement. All these tools we're generating, particularly the images, social media, plus the app, allows to generate a communication between our customers and their stakeholders and citizenships that show that this is not greenwashing. This is real, and you can check it. And you can go there, and it's not something happening 17,000 miles away in the Caribbean or in the Indian Ocean or in the Amazonia. It's something that can happen right next to your house, next to your door, and see how this is improving your environment. We are basically focused in trying to change and turn into nature positive the wind farms, oil, gas, commercial ports, and marinas so far. And the good news is that this is, as I said, we are trying to promote a new circular approach to making that all those kind of infrastructures, but also cable, also communication infrastructure, also these new data warehouses that are being designed to be constructed underwater. Anything related with infrastructure, cement or steel, or whatever humans we are doing in the ocean, again, we can rethink, redesign, reuse them, and turning them into nature positive, particularly turning them into ocean allies, generating biodiversity, creating Noah's Ark effect, so we can turn those units, particularly those which are offshore, into repositories of biodiversity. We can seed high environmental value species to make sure, like corals or gorgonias, to make sure that we don't lose those. For example, now we are seeding gorgonias in the port of Barcelona, which are coming from the works they are doing outside the port. So instead of killing them, we are replacing or resetting them inside. And of course, creating sanctuaries, because in those infrastructures, like an oil rig, you cannot fish, you cannot do anything. So they become a very interesting sanctuary for marine life. So we are boosting ecosystem services and finally creating something like a new concept which could be like a regenerated marine protected area. The good news is that this is already happening. We have so far over 20 ports which are already turning their infrastructures into blue oases, mostly around the Mediterranean coast, but just recently we started in the Atlantic coast of Spain. We're just 3 years old, so we couldn't go more faster than that. We're also starting to have some very interesting corporate projects with companies like Repsol, Port of Barcelona, Puertos del Estado, Elia Group, I'll talk about in a minute, MB92, the biggest refitting company, a luxury yachts refitting company in the world, the cement company Holcim. And we are also getting, in the last 12 months, some different and significant awards and recognitions. I would like to outline 2 of them. First, the 4 Years From Now awards. We were finalists this year, one of the 5 finalists, as the best tech startup at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, which being an impact startup and based on regeneration for us was very important. And the NASDAQ Milestone Maker program from the NASDAQ, the New York Exchange, which right today we are graduating for the program. So today we'll have our logo on Times Square shown for a few seconds, but it's going to be lots of fun for us. And of course, we were accelerated also by Nosken. Some projects, some examples of how to rethink, reuse, and redesign infrastructures. This is the biggest civil work ever done in Europe on the sea, in the North Sea, the Princess Elizabeth Island. We have been selected to provide our solution as the best nature-inclusive solution to turn it into nature positive. So it's going to be built in the next year, as I said, north of Belgium. Another example, we are working with oil company to turn an oil rig into a blue oasis, and the capacity they have is absolutely outstanding, with a very significant impact in terms of the effect of Noah's Arks. And finally, we are starting to work in a project for creating the first concessionary business model based on the restoration of marine natural capital. So really putting real economic value on the nature we are regenerating, so stimulating the whole ecosystem to really invest in restoring marine life, and as I said, generating a paradigm shift, turning all those infrastructure from ocean destroyers into ocean allies. There's this short video, which, yeah, we still have time. Can you play the video?
In an ocean increasingly affected by human impact, we're committed to revitalizing and protecting marine life for a sustainable future. In response to these growing challenges, Ocean Ecostructures emerges. As a company, we provide technological solutions to restore marine life and offset the impact of human activities in the ocean. Our biomimicry microreefs, specifically designed for installation on marine structures, create fully functional, complex ecosystems, bringing back life to damaged areas. All our units are monitored with the iOceans digital platform, providing comprehensive reports and analytics to fulfill our customers' compliance and offsetting needs. Our goal is to regenerate 20,000 marine spaces by 2030, turning gray areas into blue oases. Ocean Ecostructures, technological solutions to restore marine life.
And all of that is to fulfill our dream. We are an impact-driven company. We have a purpose in our life, which is what we all decided to start this project 3 years ago, which is restoring up to 20,000 spots around the globe by 2030, making human activities ocean-friendly. Behind that, this paradigm shift we want to promote to make sure that we can bring together growth and sustainability. Thank you.